What's up, Team MBL? It's Music by Lucas. If you guys like Kingsley and you like song parodies, you're gonna love the new video we put on Team MBL 2 because we took the song Baby Got Back and turned it in to Kitty Got Back. So head over there after this video to watch and subscribe. Kshmr recently did an interview with Waves in which he revealed a bunch of his production secrets. And as you guys know, this guy just keeps making hit after hit, so we definitely want to pay attention to what he has to say. After reading the interview, I took away 10 valuable Kshmr secrets that I wanted to share with you guys, and that is what today's video is going to be all about. And if you guys want to read the entire interview after this video is over, you can find the link to it in the description below. All right, guys, let's get to it. Number 1 is use your music to create the world you want. When Kshmr was younger, his parents separated, and this caused a lot of frustration for him. But he found an outlet, and for him that outlet was music to help him create the world he wanted. If you want to be successful as a DJ, then you have to live that life of a successful DJ. You have to make music that's going to get you there so you can create that world you want. Number 2, use influences around you that are personal to you to create your music. Kshmr talks about how his father came from India and brought with him his love of Bollywood and the Beatles, and how when he was younger, he didn't really relate to that, he didn't really get it, and he wasn't exactly proud of it. But as he got older, he started to appreciate where he came from, and he started to appreciate that heritage, and he used things like that as well as exotic instruments from India and incorporated them into his music, which gave him this really cool appeal and made his music sound really original. It's one of the things that we think about today when we think about Kshmr is his originality and just the unique vibes of the instruments he uses and the way his melodies work. So what he did was he was able to use where he came from, his heritage, to be able to put that into his music to make it special. So I hear a lot of producers, they're nervous about where they came from, they don't necessarily want everyone to know about their background, they're not exactly proud of it. But if you really think about it, it's what makes you interesting and unique. So maybe you're from some exotic country, or you have some kind of special skill, or you're good at playing some kind of instrument that's not traditional in electronic music. You can use those kind of things, that environment that you came from, to make your music and your art be more unique and more special, and people will appreciate it more because it'll be more real and authentic. Number 3, be human with your music. They were talking to Kshmr in the interview about how he does the pitch bending that he does and how he comes up with little notes and chords here and there that aren't usual in electronic music. And Kshmr had this to say. He talked about how a real human, when they're playing an instrument, they don't have everything perfect. It's not all perfectly 100% quantized. The velocity of each note is not always at the top. And there's something that sounds more natural about that and more authentic, which is why he does the pitch bending and why he likes to sneak in little notes here and there to make it sound more real. And I think that this is really important, and it's part of what makes Kshmr's music so relatable. So what you can think about is, for instance, when you open up your piano roll, if you make all of the notes from just like a piano being played have all the same velocity, it's not going to sound real. If you listen to someone play piano live on the stage or in an acoustic version, you notice how they play some notes softer and some notes more intense to be able to build that emotion, and you lose that when you make it sound so robotic. So I think that this is an incredible production secret for you to be able to try to think about how to play music like a real person would play it and not just from a melody loop, to try to make it more real, keep those pitch bends, keep those little notes here and there, definitely make sure that it's all on time and, on tempo, but to try to make it more real. Number 4, make something inspiring to keep the momentum going. Kshmr says it's all about making the sound inspiring as quickly as possible to keep the momentum going for the listener. For example, one of the plugins that he likes to use to be able to do this is the Renaissance compressor. He talks about how it's all about subtleness and how it's able to make the vocal have the compressed sound without making it sound overly harsh. And this just goes again to Kshmr's raw authenticness, and the way that he makes it subtle is what also makes it more raw and more real. So it all just plays into the Kshmr style. And Kshmr knows that if he can get you inspired right in the beginning, right in the first 10 seconds of the track even, that he can keep you listening and want to hear more. So that's his whole goal when he gets into the studio, when he's making a track, is to be able to find a way to get the listener inspired as quickly as possible. So just make sure you remember that your goal is to hook the listener right away to keep listening to your track, because they're not going to give you much time when they're listening, especially if you are a DJ or producer that they've never heard of before. So you got to make sure you grab their attention, and something inspiring is really a good way to do that. Number 5, pay attention to your stereo field. So in the interview, they asked him, they said, Kshmr, of course you like to be subtle, but how do you get these huge mixes? They sound incredible. And his reaction was that he really likes to pay attention to the stereo field, and that a lot of producers go overboard and just try to make one particular sound really fat and wide. But what Kshmr does is he likes to get multiple sounds and give them each their own space in the stereo field. And he says when you do this, you actually create a much fuller mix, and it's part of the reason why he has these incredible huge mixes. So the whole point of this is to make sure you pay attention to your stereo field. A lot of producers get really caught up in the EQ, and they pay no attention to which sounds should be more mono, which sounds should be more stereo, and that's definitely something you need to give a lot of attention to if you want your mixes to have that full and fat sound. Number 6, share. Kshmr was asked about this because of course he's collaborated with some of the biggest DJs in the world, and they said to him, Kshmr, do you ever share presets and patches with these other producers? And he said, of course. He said that who better to get presets from than the people that you look up to? For example, Headhunters is one of his favorite producers that he's worked with, and he said he still uses some of those presets in his new music because they just sound so good. Another note that he hit on was that there's this weird thing about how some producers feel that if they share how they make their music or what their secrets are, that other people are gonna dethrone them and make them not who they used to be, and there's gonna be too much competition, everyone can do what they do. And basically Kshmr says that that's stupid, and that if you think that you're so easy to copy, that if someone just learned how you make your tracks, that they could all of a sudden make the exact same hits as you without the same inspiration or feelings or background or talent, that there's something wrong. And I have to agree here because it's true. If your idea, let's say you have this amazing top secret idea, if you told it to someone and they were so easily able to copy it and get successful from that idea before you, then your idea is probably not that good of an idea, because your execution of the idea is what matters. So be like Kshmr and never be afraid to share, because you never know what you're gonna get in return. Number 7, use your mistakes. In the interview, they asked Kshmr how he delivers his hits so consistently. And one of the things he said is, to this day, some of his biggest hits have come from his mistakes. And he said that most of the magic is an accident, and that it never feels like magic if you spend hours working on it. Kshmr says that when he gets into the studio, what he really likes to do is just throw ideas around and see what works. So work on a bunch of different ideas, try to figure out which ones are bad, which ones are good. And he said that nothing's really changed from the beginning of when he was producing then to now, except for the fact that he's quicker to know what's working and what's not. So just keep throwing ideas around like Kshmr, because maybe one of your mistakes will be your next big hit. Number 8, surprise yourself. At this point in the interview, they were talking to Kshmr about how he creates such catchy melodies. And he said that there's a lot of science behind it. People try to come up with how catchy melodies are made, but to him, he just likes to try to make something that surprises him. And the way that he can do that is by trying to throw in a weird note there, trying to make the chord a little bit different, and that makes it sound catchy and unique. He kind of just sees what happens, and he usually surprises himself. Now, me personally, I play piano. I've been playing piano for a long time, and I have grown into these patterns of habit where I play certain chords. And sometimes they don't sound as unique, they're not surprising me because I play them all the time. So one of the things that I do is I will play those chords, record it into Logic, and then I will open up my piano roll and start messing with those notes by hand. And it's really cool because sometimes you can come up with unique chords and patterns, chop up the notes, do some stuff to make it sound different. And I think that can help it be more catchy. Number 9, find your personal touch and then use it. They asked Kshmr how he is so good at remixes, and what he said is truly incredible. He was talking about how you just gotta give the track, the original track, what it doesn't have. For example, if he's remixing a pop song, he doesn't wanna give it more pop, he doesn't want to give it more like happiness and excitement. He gives it more darkness. He tries to go the other way with it. Just like when he gets a track that's really organic sounding and raw, he tries to make it more synthy. And this is really cool because, like, for example, why would you give a really progressive house track more progressiveness when you remix it? You want to give it something different, something that the listener's not exactly expecting, a different flavor, a different vibe. So I think this is really powerful, and if you pay attention to this rule, you can start making some incredible remixes like Kshmr. Number 10, keep it simple. They ask Kshmr a really important question here, which is, do you need to know music theory in order to produce good tracks? And what he had to say is if you can't just produce a track with a piano and a great melody, if you need all the bells and whistles, all the fanciest plugins to be able to do it, then you're not really a good producer in his book. So what Kshmr is saying here is if you can't just do the simplest of things and make it sound good, there's really not a point to start adding all those bells and whistles to a full production. Any of those songs by Kshmr with those crazy melodies would sound super sick on the piano, and many versions have already been made. So just think of the subtleness before you start adding all the intensities. I hope you guys liked this video about Kshmr's production secrets, and if you have any other DJs or producers that you want to know their production process, how they do things, be sure to comment below. And remember guys, it is all about teamwork. We got new videos every weekend to Wednesday, so if you're not a member of the team yet, hit that subscribe button. All right guys, I'm Music by Lucas, this is DJ Catlid, and we will see you next video. What's up Team MBL? We have some big announcements for the month of August. Like right now, you can join the Team MBL producers team for free and not pay anything until September 1st. This is our longest free trial ever, so head over to teammbl.com/producers team, choose a membership, and let's get to work on your next hit track. Don't forget to check out the new team shop at teammbl.com/shop and get your very own personalized member shirt because it's super lit. Also, we have a brand new channel, Team MBL2, with some super dope and hilarious videos, plus behind the scenes vlogs, which you definitely do not want to miss. And remember, it is all about teamwork, so hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next video.